My name is Kristin DiBiase, and I'm your law school coach. I have worked to help students in higher education for over 15 years. After leaving law school with my JD and passing the bar, I worked for over a decade for the NCAA in academics, helping students. And so I decided to take a position as Associate Director of Academics and Bar Success at the Indiana University McKinney School of Law. I took the things that I had learned from law school myself as a student, the things that I learned while I was working at the NCAA, and the things that I learned on the other side of things as a law school educator and administrator, and combined all of those to form this organization, Your Law School Coach, where I really worked one-on-one with students and in group settings to help them be as successful as possible in their law school academic careers right from the beginning. Success in law school isn't a zero-sum game where you're either good or bad, or you're smart or dumb. Success in law school is really the result of learning a set of skills that can be practiced and improved upon. But your mindset is going to impact your ability to make those improvements. So let's talk about the concept of growth mindset. And when we're talking about growth mindset, it's actually really helpful for us to first look at the idea of essentially the opposite of that, which is the idea of fixed mindset. Fixed mindset is this idea that our abilities are immutable. Immutable in that they cannot be changed. It's this idea that we're either good at something or we're not. And with a fixed mindset, if you encounter a challenge and you don't succeed, the resulting thought is that you simply just don't possess that ability or you don't have what it takes. So in law school, it can sound like, I guess I'm just not a good writer if you don't get a good score on a legal writing assignment. It can also look like, yeah, this is really hard. Maybe I'm just not as smart as I thought I was. Or it can also sound like, I got good grades in undergrad and now I'm not doing as well. The grading here is really unfair. Now, that third one sounds a little different than the other two, but that's also a manifestation of what a fixed mindset can look like. And that's because students with a fixed mindset view intelligence as a fixed quality. Again, you can have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset about all kinds of things. But obviously, since we're talking about academic success and going to law school, the area, the domain that we're talking about our ideas and our mindsets around is the domain and the concept of intelligence. So people who have a fixed mindset view intelligence as a fixed quality. So they're viewing education as nothing more than a way for them to measure how much intelligence they have. If you have a fixed mindset, your focus is essentially on looking and being smart and appearing smart both to yourself and to other people. This results in a few things. First off, it results in people shying away from anything that's too hard. So they're not going to take on challenges because there's the possibility of not succeeding right away in a challenge. And a challenge that is not successful is a failure. And a failure means that someone can't cut it. So people will shy away from those challenges or things that are too hard. In situations where people need assistance, someone who has a fixed mindset will not seek help because seeking help essentially is advertising that one is not smart and one needs assistance. People who have a fixed mindset can also have defensive behavior in the face of receiving critical feedback. And they also see any failures, their own or other people's, as evidence of stupidity. These characteristics are the opposite of what we want to cultivate in ourselves when we are going through law school, because the behaviors that are necessary for success in law school are impeded by a fixed mindset. We really want to move ourselves over to a growth mindset, where our goal becomes less about proving how smart we are and more about making ourselves better. So a growth mindset is the belief that our abilities and our level of skill are not innate. They can be cultivated. They can be grown. The hand that we're dealt by nature, by God, by science, by whatever thing we feel imbues us with our natural gifts and talents, that's just the starting point for our development. And people who have a growth mindset believe that facing challenges and facing difficulties is the way that that development occurs. So students who have a growth mindset are more likely to persist when they are faced with challenging tasks. And that's really important. They recognize when they need to ask for help, and they do. They learn from their mistakes, and they embrace feedback and accept it without defensiveness. So they're accepting feedback that is received in the way it was intended, instead of seeing it as a personal slight or affront. All of those behaviors are what we need to do to achieve as best we can in law school, because only students with a growth mindset by design have the capability to improve. If we have a fixed mindset, we can't get any better than we are. So you have to have a growth mindset in order to master the law, because mastering the law takes an intense, sustained level of effort over a very long period of time. And it also takes a focus on improvement. Only students who see rising to challenges as a method of getting better are going to be the type that will give that level of effort that is necessary to achieve success in the law school atmosphere. I want to thank you for participating today, and will remind you that I know a lot of people are not able to be on a live session, but make sure that you are joining the Esquire, so you're able to catch all this good stuff and come and join this community for students who are just like you, to have a place where they can ask questions and have a safe spot to talk about their future ambitions for being lawyers.